Welcome to another episode of the Memery Hole. I believe it's episode 44. Remember to like and subscribe and share a friend and all you do that.
Bob's and Virgin.
Unfortunately, player one's not with us this week. Family thing. So it's just going to be me and player three.
Hello.
Right. Let's jump in. Memes from this past couple of weeks. Here we go. So that thing you just said, we Germans, we have a word for that. It's that thing you just said, and
it seems pretty true. I've always thought German sounds like you're having a stroke, and that's what I imagine having a stroke is, and you can't speak English anymore.
It's not a fish burger, it's a Backfischbrötchen. A fried fish in a bun. Not everything in a bun is a burger.
Have you watched All Quiet on the Western Front yet?
No.
It's on the German side, and I was watching it with Jane. It's about World War One. Jane genuinely thought it was about the Nazis.
She's waiting for them to turn up.
She was like, it's really good that they're showing the other side for once. Yeah. Which would have been bold. I'll have to admit that would have been a bold move, especially for Oscar nomination.
This is the moment where Nick Clegg lost his seat to, what was that guy, the Labour guy?
I guess I can't remember his name, but he's the massive cokehead, isn't he? Let's find out. Somehow he owes tens of thousands to local drug dealers, even though he's on like 80k a year or something.
Yeah, he's a weird one, that guy.
Gingers are just a bit rogue, aren't they? Like the real pale ones. It's a bit scummy. Just like Jared O'Mara, that's it. Jared O'Mara. It's the Irish actually. Nick Clegg just left across the pond after that, didn't he?
He works at Facebook now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Creepy.
I think he does talks about the metaverse, where I guess he'd probably rather live now.
Lex Friedman tweet, I'm watching the sunset and I'm struck with the realization that I'm sitting on a habitable planet looking at a normal star that gave us some energy and somehow led to the origin of life, consciousness, and intelligence. Is any of this real?
This is the sort of caliber of chat you get at like 7 a.m. when the drugs are wearing off and you're stuck with this person that just talks nonsense at you about how we're all the same. And
I got stuck in one of those nonsense conversations like the other week. It was some girl from Switzerland, and for about 20 minutes, she was explaining how expensive Switzerland is in as many ways possible as you could possibly think. Like, I'd have to work, I'd have to work for so many hours. I'd have to teach like for children, like how to I'd teach them, and then I'd get enough money maybe to go to a party like once a month. And there's like loads of homeless people, and I'm like, right, I get it, yeah, Switzerland's expensive. But she gave about like 20 different examples. I'm not gonna bore the listeners with all of them because it was absolute hell at the time. But those conversations suck.
It would have been weird if she was interesting though as a Swiss person. I reckon that would have been more of a mindfuck.
Swiss people generally not very interesting.
I thought that was the whole thing, that they're just a bit neutral. There was a guy who he looked 12. I don't know how old he was, but he's staying with my aunt, and he's a Swiss exchange student, or I think he's like 16, but he looked 12. And he wouldn't smile about anything. We tried to get him to have a beer. He was just having none of it. I was trying to get something out of him. He was telling me how he just wants to build parts for printers. That's what he's going to do with his life, and he's going to a school that just dedicates you to building parts for printers. And by God, man, it was impossible. I was like, oh yeah, what's all the printers? And he was like showing me all these different types of printers. And I was like, what do they print? And he was like, card, like, just like, everything, wood. It just prints the shapes. And I was like, oh God, man, 16, and that's what you're doing. Go smoke some drugs, please.
Yeah, the response to this mid-tweet is, I accept that pseudo-intellectual alternative podcast personalities are an inevitability, but why do they have to be so mid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with a name like Lex Friedman as well, he should be 1,000 times cooler. He sounds like some sort of Bond villain, He should be either huge or doing something nefarious that isn't just bitching and smarmsing up to everyone he comes across. Honestly, you watch a video and he's just purring when he's talking to people, and it's like, I can't not see it now when I watch his stuff. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, he I want to get like just train some algorithm on his videos. I want it to count all the times he brings up love.
I reckon they are trained on his videos. Now you say it, like they are all just so overly positive and talking about how incredible the world today is, and it's like, if you looked outside, it's not incredible at all. Hovis is £1.50. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Incredible times we live in. Yeah.
Here we've got a camel tank.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is for the India Day parade, where I think it must be their Independence Day, right? This is how they're keeping us at bay.
And we have this story from the Iranian clerics. Are we supposed to take out Spider-Man and SpongeBob? Iranian cleric mocks US and says Tehran can't strike back at targets of Soleimani's stature because America only has fictional heroes.
Yeah, that was a sassy riposte. This is
How did they get away with it?
Wait, you just bomb them again. This is the thing, isn't it? Everyone's like, oh yeah, we're in like the Roman Empire's declining days and stuff, and the Weimar Republic and all that, but we're way past that, because I don't remember any Roman generals wearing a dress or like any of this shit going on in Weimar Germany. Really, like we're pretty past the pale, even in terms of those two end days. So yeah, SpongeBob, Saint SpongeBob.
Where is Kelly Chauvin now? Derek Chauvin's ex-wife. Notice anything about Derek Chauvin's ex-wife?
Yeah. Well, as you rightly said...
White supremacist wet dream.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, as you rightly said, they don't like blacks, do they, really?
Got an update on the Prime story. Parents warned as paedophiles target kids desperate for viral Prime energy drink. My local newspaper.
How much do you want it? They put like the least amount of effort into those designs, didn't they? Look, like they picked the ugliest colours you could imagine. They just took the piss, didn't they?
Yeah, they were as loud as the YouTubers themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Boris Johnson says Putin claimed he could send a missile to hit the UK in a minute. Former Prime Minister's comments about call to Russia president just before invasion come in new BBC documentary.
Doesn't this just show that he got absolutely played, I guess? Because wasn't the general consensus, myself included, that Putin wasn't invading and it was all just, just marching along the peripheries of Ukraine just to sort of get the military out and about? So he was actually on the phone with him before it happened and somehow still didn't see it coming.
Well, what they say to us in public and private are two very different things, as we very well know.
I was with my friend who's a captain in the Marines on Saturday. I got extremely drunk, and I asked him if they're preparing for war, and he was like, maybe. And his maybes are always like, yeah, we're pretty much like ramping up. But I suppose they should always be preparing for war, right? What else are they meant to be doing?
Yeah, well, did you see, like, Biden said something in a speech about, like, how if we sent tanks, airplanes, and American military over to Ukraine, then it would mean World War III. But sending all those things but not having American soldiers use them isn't World War III.
Yeah. I don't hear anything from that man anymore, and the same with Rishi Sunak. I feel like we just don't get told anything anymore about what's going on. All the algorithms just know. I just like memes and nothing else. But either way, I don't hear anything from him.
Are we part of the problem? We're just contributing to the noise.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, this is a bacon shake with cream that I tried. I was like, hear me out, right? I think bacon in a milkshake, if it's like, have you ever had it in like a brownie or something?
No.
Bacon in brownies is really good. It like gives it that little salty kick. It's got a nice, it lifts it up. It's really good. So I was like, oh, it's going to be like that. Big mistake, because in Japan, bacon isn't like bacon like we have. It's like soggy. It's like thick cut. It's basically like gammon. So I was like, I got it and I was like, oh. It had like the texture of like big sultanas, which is obviously not good. I don't like sultanas and raisins in things. I like them on their own. I don't like them in things. I don't like them in salads. I don't like them. Okay?
In your ass.
But then I tasted them, and at first I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. It's got that saltiness. But then they had this like weird chemically taste. I was like, oh no, that's not for me. Especially the ones in the cream, because I normally just get these milkshakes because the milkshakes from Dominoes here with the cream on top. The cream is so thick and like I fucking love it. I could just eat a cup full of that cream, to be honest. But the bacon was ruining the cream. I was like, okay, it's probably because there's not much sugar in the cream, so I'll try the milkshake part. And I was like, I think it's because in Asia, they like stuff like boba tea and stuff like with tapioca in, like big bowls of shit. I do not like that. I like my liquids, smooth. I don't like lumps. I don't like bits in there. So I was sucking it in and I was like almost choking to death on these like large pieces of like bacon chunk. And it was just very unpleasant. And it was absolutely full. Like this picture I thought was just, like how they lie in pictures and like they put more toppings on than the picture. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's more bacon than was in this picture.
Oh wow.
And like there's lots. Look how much bacon there is.
Yeah. See, oh wow, it's all on the inside as well. It keeps going.
Yeah. It's fucking horrid.
What's the deal with that bubble tea? It's like sucking on hemorrhoids or something. Like,
mate, if you see like a queue in Japan of like a queue like 30 people long in the city, it's usually they're queuing up for bubble tea. Like they say that British people like to queue, like we like the orderliness of queuing and like the sort of thing around it. But in Japan, if Japanese people see a queue, even not knowing what it's going to, they just get into it. They go into it thinking, oh, this must be something popular. I don't want to miss out. So they'll start queuing. They take it to the next level. But yeah, do not buy bacon milkshakes from Domino's in Japan.
Wait, was it a takeaway or did you order it from a guy and he was laughing at you or anything like that?
No, it wasn't like a get baked scenario. It was it was a takeaway from Domino's.
Yeah, fair.
Disappointing because I really like their milkshakes normally.
I put when I was in Italy, I got this. There was this one kebab shop in this small town I was in, and sometimes if I wanted like a taste of home, I'd go get a kebab, and it wasn't very good. We called it diarrhea kebab because it always made you ill, but I just kept going back. And I used to get like chips in it. And the guy would always start creasing and like start sending photos to his friends. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why is he laughing at this? And he was just like creasing every single time. Like, couldn't believe it. So I was wondering.
That you ordered chips?
I got chips inside the kebab, yeah. Like.
Oh. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. He literally take photos and be like laughing and like being like, oh, like couldn't believe it.
What? So you'd ask him specifically to put the chips in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some places they do that anyway.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know where this guy was from, to be fair.
Okay, we got another page of these.
Oh, yes.
So we've got the renters enjoying a wonderful life. The landlords are holding up society, paying the taxes, the interest, the maintenance costs, the large down payment that took years to save.
I love that they're fighting back. Yeah. It's just so. Yeah, it's so.
People shit on landlords so much, don't they?
Yeah.
While they're renting a house.
I've got a friend who he was like maybe you met Hamza. He was always the biggest communist, most vegan dude on the planet, and he bought a house the other day and got a dog, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened to you, dude? Like, this is. Can I have your house? No. Oh, okay. Well, guess that's over, isn't it?
We got some Tate update.
Tate update.
Romania is I can't do his voice. I need to practice.
I'm happy.
It's so weird. It's like it's so horrible. It's so jarring. It's like
you can't get it out of your head. It just attacks you.
And his brother, they sound exactly the same. It's like. Ugh. Anyway, Romania is a communist country. Zero evidence and zero proof, only suspicions. They will lock you in jail and try to find you of guilty things. They will then waste your life as they fail, release you years later and not even apologise.
Oh, dude, what are you doing in Romania? I've been to Romania. It is absolutely sus. Like the place that we stayed was like a penthouse. It had like a rotating bed in the middle of the thing. None of the shit worked. The guys that came to the Airbnb dude was in property. I ended up giving him those a grappa. He ended up bringing so much cocaine around with his friends, who were all like in their 50s, all proper gangsters. And everywhere you went was a strip club. And even the things that weren't strip clubs, you go to like a cafe and it would turn into a strip club. Like when you were just like sitting around, and it was like, what the hell's going on here? So don't be complaining. You went to Romania, know exactly what Romania was, I reckon.
Also, I love this like appeal to like reactionary conservatives online. It's like just call anything communist and it will like garner support. Like,
yeah, right.
You know, there are other ideologies that will lock people up and try and find them guilty of things.
Yeah, he's. I think he's tweeting now about that he'd never kill himself and all that sort of stuff. So I think he's trying to tap into that market.
That only works if you actually end up getting suicided, though.
does.
Might backfire that one.
Yeah. Also, how's he just tweeting from prison? I don't really understand what prison is if everyone's just able to tweet whenever they want.
Well, it's Romanian prison, so you can probably just slip a few Benjamins or whatever they have over there.
Yeah.
It's my birthday tomorrow. I wonder if the old crew wants to grab a drink. The old crew. Reclusive gamer porn addict. Successful family man. Ignores all your texts. Or in outpatient rehab. Might be able to get coffee though.
I was the third one for Dry January.
I'm
you're bottom left. Yeah. Player one's going to be the family man, isn't he? He's going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we role play this next one?
Yeah, right.
Who do you want to, which character do you want?
Yeah, I'm going to be Red Hat Man, yeah. Ayo, let me holler at. Maybe you be Red Hat Man. You're better at this.
Ayo, let me holler at you a minute, shorty.
What language are you speaking?
I'm saying you fine. Can I get with you?
I'm sorry, no. I want my children to look like me. Yeah, the algorithms are sending me to some funny places on Twitter these days.
Putting the trans into transatlantic.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. I don't remember reading about this in the stories of the Romans, but maybe I have. To be fair, I haven't got there yet.
It's a strange place for it to occur, right? I mean, yeah, very strange.
I don't know. Is it something to do with? I feel like lots of athletes have it as well. Is it just some sort of focus on the body for so long kind of gets you confused, or is it these guys have been watching too much porn in the barracks and their brains got confused? I don't know.
Or is it just, is it a fast track promotional thing, or I don't know? Maybe these people. No, I guess these people got high up in the military before they came.
Yeah,
out
they were
as
high up
trans.
before.
Maybe it's just a way to keep your position.
Well, I feel like there must be some art of war quote here that we can kind of apply to this, because it would freak me the fuck out, to be fair, if I was in battle and these guys are running at me. Like, is there some sort of 4D chess thing happening here? I don't know.
Well, maybe just gaslighting like the Russians to think that the Americans have gone soft, but really it's just a big.
It's a big gotcha,
trick.
yeah. It's so Sun Tzu quotes. You have to believe in yourself. These sound like Whitney Houston quotes, to be fair. If your enemy is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is temperamental, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. Which they don't, I guess. If his forces are united, separate them. If sovereign and subject are in accord, put division between them. Attack him where he's unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. I feel like they're doing all that sort of stuff. They're kind of. If everyone else is zigging, they're definitely zagging.
Crazy how all non-binary chicks are either ones or zeros.
Yeah.
Oh, we met this girl at the weekend, this Tunisian girl, who was like best if she went full lesbian. She was so annoying, right? Well, I thought she was okay, but I could see why other people thought she was annoying. Like, the first thing she'd ask you was like your personality type and just talk about that, and then
who knows that?
She kept. I know my personality type.
You were like, oh yeah, I'm a bit of a cunt. Yeah, I don't know.
No, like the ENTP, INTJ, all that stuff. Which is based on Jungian psychology, sort of. Anyway,
Tunisian lesbian.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she just kept grabbing people like, I don't know, it's just weird.
What sort of ragtag team have?
But she kept asking everyone if they like guys or boys. And I was like,
ugh. How old is she? That sounds like a teenage vibe.
No, she was maybe late 20s,
God.
mid to late 20s. I thought she was fun.
What is this ragtag team? You've got the Swiss, the Tunisian.
Oh, the Swiss person was just someone I met randomly. Most of my friends are Americans. Yeah. I'm an American. I have two friends with actual autism as well.
I don't.
High functioning Asperger's.
Like how high? Like not like they're rolling on the floor, like moaning, sort of. Ooh, like.
No.
I feel like everyone has that now, and I was looking into it, and I think like apparently pollution has a lot to do with it. So maybe it's a thing because more people are living in cities that pollution during pregnancy sort of causes it.
I do feel like as well, like a lot of people around me have like actual mental health, or at least think they have mental health issues. But I did the Big Five personality test this week because Nadine wanted to check our compatibility. So
isn't it a bit late for that?
Yeah, 9 years in. But I'm like 1 percentile for withdrawal, which is like one of the big indicators for like mental health.
What does that mean? What's the withdrawal thing mean?
So I'm like, I'm basically like resilient to like.
Yeah, like it's your defensive.
Like
your defensive
mode.
You can just sort of like tap out and be like, yeah, I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah. So people who are high in withdrawal will like. I don't know exactly, but I'm quite high in volatility, so I get angry easily.
When I had to go to the AA classes for getting drunk when I was in Texas, they told me after 9 hours that I was not an alcoholic, I was a substance abuser, and I was like, I could have told you that. Like, what the fuck? What are we gonna do about it next? Like, what was that? Yeah,
that's funny because like you always hear like, oh. The sort of meme is that AA just tries to get people in and convince everyone that they're an alcoholic, right? And they just want more and more members, but it's funny that they actually do turn.
Well, they just away. At the end of it, they're like, "Yeah, you've done your." Because I had to do it had to do 6 hours for the drunken disorderly stuff, and then because I missed, because they put it on Saturday mornings, the bastards. So obviously I was going to miss some, and as soon as you miss some. You have to start again, so I ended up racking up like 9 hours, and then I had to do my 48 hours community service. I basically did it straight because I left it till the last 2 days, and then got it all signed by the judge. No, got it all signed for the judge, and then forgot to give it to him anyway, so that was completely pointless. But yeah, the AA classes was like the nerdiest dude. He was like, you know that South Park episode where they get all into World of Warcraft and get really fat and all that. We had to go to his little hut in the middle of like trailer in the middle of nowhere, and it was basically that. And I hated him. I hated him so much. I kept disagreeing with him whenever I could. I kept turning up really high. I kept laughing at him, and he despised me as well. But he would always just be playing his game, always be talking down to everyone like they had some serious problems when really everyone had just got like caught drunk driving or whatever, which is quite normal out there. But yeah, they didn't bother sending me to ethics classes, which everyone else got sent to, so I think they thought I was a lost cause by the end.
When a boy realises he's smarter than his adult woman teacher, he cannot hide it. He's set on a path he cannot
I don't know
avoid.
who this was, but I just thought the quote was quite true. I remember that day at school. Oh, isn't it
Hitler?
Yeah, I guess maybe,
sure,
actually,
right?
yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. Hitler school photo. Yeah, it is. It's crazy that I knew that was Hitler.
Eyes of a killer.
I mean, he's got the same hair.
Got the same hair, yeah. It's weird that those kids also look like Hess or something, don't they? Like, they're all looking a bit in uniform.
Just the crossed arms as well. My baby treats me so good.
I thought this was a dog paw.
What ethnicity do you think they are?
What?
What ethnicity?
Oh, it's some
could that
sort
be?
of Mexican, right?
I was thinking more like Greek.
Yeah, could be a Turk.
Vibe.
Could be a Turk. I'd be impressed if I was that hairy.
Britain with its colonies, France with its colonies, Belgium with its colonies, Spain with its colonies.
What's this trying to say about Spain's colonies? What happened in Spain's colonies?
I don't know. Is it people have just forgotten that they did bad stuff too?
Yeah. Stopping child sacrifice and all that.
Computer.
Oh, this is great, this stuff. So there was a lot of deep fake Twitch stuff going about because obviously that's the times we're living in with all the AI.
No, but I think the big story was that one of these streamers, like a guy streamer, basically admitted that he had he'd been watching and jerking off to deep fakes of like other streamers that he was like friends with and colleagues with. And like all these male streamers were like coming out apologizing and condemning his behavior and stuff, and how it's like sexual assault and things like that.
What if you just imagine it? Is that what?
I don't know.
What's the line? I feel like if you know them, it's okay. Well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? I guess. Yeah, maybe not. I feel like your friends, like, are they a friend or not? Yeah, but this meme I thought was perfect, and I reckon I could see this being a template for quite a while. This Star Trek. Computer, load the stream of Pokemon. Yeah, go
Computer,
on.
load the stream. Before she got fat. Now give her gastrointestinal issues and put a hole in her gaming chair. Safety protocols off.
Yeah, so gnarly, love it.
Stop sexualizing people with their consent. That's so stupid. Imagine, right, if the human race would just cease to exist if we put that into practice completely, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're getting that way, right? So that's kind of what's going to be happening. But then they'll spin it that it's good for the planet, so it's probably the good thing to do.
It's like these binary thinkers who think like objectification, like if you only see a certain person or a woman, right, as they're just an object for sex, like that's objectification. But like sexualization is like the idea that I might want to have sex with someone doesn't mean that's the only reason I'm interested in them.
Yeah.
It's just
it's normally like it's
just like 2010 feminism applied.
Yeah, binary thinking is what happens when I guess we're just raised on Disney, I reckon. If I was looking at, you know, those sort of clips of like old school, old timey England, and it's just on the corner of the street where I think it was Winston Churchill dying, and they're asking about like, oh, was he a good man and all that sort of jazz, and they're just picking random people, but every single person sounded so like well spoken and knowledgeable and humble about that. Maybe if they didn't know about the subject too well, and it was just like, what the hell's happened? What? I think it'd be hard pressed to find someone to be able to string 10 sentences like that together today in the streets of Whitechapel. I've got there's this YouTuber that I really like watching. It's just like walking tours around London, and I think I watch it for the wrong reasons because it just looks so bad. He's always going around talking about how he used to go around here in the 90s, and every time he goes around a corner, he's like, oh, it's all different now. But he's always really positive still, and it's just like, oh, mate, I could just say it, like, just say it. It's all so shit now, man. But he can't say it.
Have you seen that video of John Lydon, Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols, like doing a tour around London, and he's just he is saying like what
is he actually to say. Good on him.
Yeah. Just go watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from. Do you?
This was Player One, yeah.
Player One shared this. He thought I thought when I was reading it that it was parody as well. I was like, oh come on, mate, like this is clearly parody. And then I looked at his comment and he was like, actually no, it's not. He thought the same. What's the NMAHC?
Let's have a look.
Top right. It's the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Aspects and assumptions of whiteness.
Yeah, this is kind of. So I don't know. You know that horrible Memphis beating that happened the other day, when the cops were all black, and somehow that was still white supremacy because. Who was the dude? Who was the Bobby? The guy that came up with the police? Yeah, you know, they're called the Bobbies because it was Robert Peel, that was it, yeah. Robert Peel, because he was a white guy technically, so the fact that we invented the police means that policing is still an extension of whiteness or whatever. And it's just this theory, isn't it? This theory that everything must be bad because it came from a certain place, which is just a bit... It's not what Dr. King would have probably aspired to spout, but what do I know? But some of this stuff is just basic. Being polite, I don't know how being polite was. I feel like being polite when you're getting punched in the face like this would be like the wrong way to go, which I would agree with. But I don't think that's what they're at.
I feel like so much of this is out of date as well. Like even here, like religion, no tolerance for deviation from single God concept.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the West now is like very godless.
Yeah.
In its culture.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
generally.
Yeah. It's all about fighting battles that have already been won. Because you got to keep the grift up, right? You can't solve the problem.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to one of our main stories, which is the spy balloon. So I don't know anything about this story other than the memes that I've seen.
I thought they weren't going to shoot it down. I thought shooting it down would reveal, I don't know, some sort of speed of missiles or speed of response or something like that, which the thing would be able to send back to China anyway. Or that they couldn't shoot it down, but then they went ahead and shot it down. So what do I know about this stuff? Well,
this is the technology they used.
They used a black Tom Cruise. we was Tom Cruise. He's so happy about it. Fair enough. I think that's the first time that jet has ever actually had a technically it's a dogfight over US soil with a foreign entity. So they broke a record there of that balloon. It's a long history of using balloons in warfare. In World War II, the Japanese tried to send a bunch of balloons across to the US, which would like cause forest fires, and none of them actually worked. Apart from a couple ended up landing in a few places. I think a few picnickers went and touched one and got immediately immolated. And I think weirdly enough, actually, it knocked out the power lines to where they were building the Manhattan Project, but that was all complete coinkydink. But there's been loads of balloons in warfare, isn't there, for ages? So it's quite an old one. Even in World War One, we used balloons here in London to deter bombers because they couldn't fly through the balloons. So when you see those old photos and you see all those Zephyrs just hanging over London, it was to stop people being able to fly through and drop stuff. So yeah, balloon warfare, but it's back.
US, shoot it down. China, relax. I just want to take some pictures of you.
Also, their whole weather balloon thing isn't like a neutral comment whatsoever, because the first plane flight over Hiroshima and all that was to check the weather to make sure that like all the nuclear waste and whatever wouldn't blow back over to the States. So just checking the weather in itself isn't just like a neutral thing. It could mean really big stuff. What is that one? Suspected Chinese balloon located over the US. Who is that?
Who is that? That's somebody. Isn't it like a Democrat?
Yeah, maybe. I missed all these balloon memes. I'm loving it. Yeah, the classic one where when the balloon's in heaven.
I'm gonna pop it, Jen, but I'm not gonna tell you when. Are you stressed, Jen? Who's this guy as well? Who's in this picture? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Diana, Stephen Hawking, Tupac, Vernon Troyer, Michael Jackson, Elvis, Robin Williams, Harambe, Severus Snape.
Harambe started this, didn't he?
George
Michael.
Yeah.
Bob Ross.
Stanley. Christopher Lee. Bruce
Lots
Lee.
of
Lots of
Lees.
Lees.
Yeah, what's going on there? Mini me. Sounds like Lee.
Oh, that porn star that killed herself.
Oh yeah, probably been shagged by a Lee.
Oh, Steve Irwin.
How old is his son now? I felt like his son should have been already come back and been the Steve Irwin.
It. But yeah, not much to say on this story, really, I guess, because I don't know.
Damn, Montana is shithole. Yeah,
just like the memes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the meat, the AI stuff. So, I was trying to get chat. I saw a thing on Twitter where someone had posted like images of, tell me a short story about black people, and it gave a poem, and it wrote a poem. Tell me a short story about Asian people, and it showed a poem. But if you do white people, it comes up with like I'm sorry, I cannot generate a poem praising one specific race. It goes against our OpenAI's policy. So I put in the same prompts as this tweet, which when I did it for black people, it came up with the same thing as for white people. So I don't know whether that was a change in policy that they made, but this tweet wasn't very big. So my guess is that this person just faked the tweet.
There could be some fakery going on. I think there is an element of it. I think they probably have sort of been quick to change stuff as well, because you don't want to lose the hype around you, do you? You don't want the narrative to be that this is not a great tool. This is actually only represents part of reality. So it could go either way. I know the ones praising Biden and the ones praising stuff like Pfizer and vaccines and stuff like that. I've seen live videos of them being typed in and stuff, and so there is a distinct bias when it came to stuff to do with vaccinations and whatever. But
you can get it to do poems about countries, not people from those countries. So we've got gone for England, which I was surprised it let you praise England, but it said, England, land of royal grace, with history etched upon thy face. From countryside to bustling town, you wear your beauty like a crown. With buildings old and stories grand, and cultures blending hand in hand, you offer something new to see, a tapestry of history. From rolling hills to pebbled shore, your beauty leaves us wanting more. England, we sing your praises high, a land of wonder in the sky.
yeah.
So then I thought, what poems won't it do? I was expecting it not to give a appraisal of Russia, but we got one. So this one is, Russia, land of history, with a spirit that's wild and free. From frozen tundras to bustling towns, your beauty leaves us all astound. With architecture grand and old, and a culture that's strong and bold, you've survived the ages with your might, and shown the world your shining light. From the Kremlin to the Volga's flow, your beauty and strength continue to grow. Russia, we sing your praises high, a land of majesty.
So similarities with the first one as well, with the bustling towns and being in the sky for some reason.
Yeah, it's like
it is like there's some guy at the end of this just being like, fuck, I've got to write another one. Shit. Like,
it's just like a template where you just change
that's essentially what this whole thing is, isn't it? It's just like probabilities and sort of suggesting like, okay, this word will probably fit here, and I'll be told it's okay.
So then I wanted to get jokes, because like Joe Rogan was talking about it on the podcast, and they were like talking about how great Lex Friedman was on it, and they were talking about ChatGTP, and I was like, give me some examples. Like, you keep saying, oh, it's done this, it does that. Like, actually just put them in, Jamie, and let's see what it does. Let's actually see how good it is. So I wanted it to tell me a abridged version of The Machine by Bert Kreischer, which is a story where he talks about going to Russia, getting really drunk, and like getting involved with the Russian mafia and stuff. And it's this crazy long story. I was like, tell me an abridged version. So then it responds, The Machine by Bert Kreischer is It's a stand-up comedy special by comedian Bert Kreischer. It's already...
Yeah.
It's already stupid. Like, people are so impressed by this thing. It's not that impressive. Anyway, in the special, Bert shares his wild and hilarious tales of his partying lifestyle and how he's earned the nickname The Machine for his ability to drink and party non-stop. That's not true. He got the machine... Well, I guess it is, but the machine came from the Russians. So it's missing out the key point that the Russian mafia gave him that name. The special is known for Bert's raw and energetic storytelling style, which has made him one of the most popular comedians in the United States. So I was like, oh, let's try and get him to tell that. Let's try and get ChatGPT to tell that joke. So I was like, tell me a joke in the style of Bert Kreischer about Russia. It's like, you know what's the biggest problem with Russia? The weather. I mean, it's so cold there. You can actually freeze your vodka. That's a shame, because let me tell you, there's nothing like a warm shot of vodka with a voice to get you going. But I guess that's why they invented fur hats, right?
It was a good impression. I reckon the joke, on the other hand, wasn't so good, right? It's just...
All the jokes are like, hey, this thing's funny, right? So this is... Hey, it's like that. It's all 80s comedy.
Is that because the internet is just flooded with that sort of stuff? Is it because it's... On all those, if you search, I don't know, jokes online, it will have 101. All those sort of shitty jokes you got in books as a kid is kind of like the default thing online, isn't it?
Probably. So as for a joke in the style of Joe Rogan about COVID vaccines, I'm going to add bits in to make it more Joe Rogan-y. So I got my COVID vaccine the other day, man, and I got to say, I feel like a superhero now. I mean... I don't have X-ray vision or super strength, but I do have immunity against a virus that's been causing global chaos for the past year. Man, I feel like I have a responsibility to use my powers for good, you know? Like, if I see someone without a mask, I'm going to fly over there, rapid-fire sneeze at them, and then just walk away with a smirk on my face. What the fuck? It's like, if it's in the style of Joe Rogan, it's not going to be pro-vaccine, is it?
Yeah.
The only bit that's Joe Rogan-ish is like, if I see someone without a mask, I'm going to fly over there, fire sneeze at them.
But also, what the hell's rapid fire sneezing? Is that? I feel like that's an AI not understanding what the human body does.
I suppose those slow sneezes.
Oh yeah, next one's not allowed. Computer says no.
Yeah. Can't talk about trans people. Can't tell even. I was like, even Karens. Like, I'm sorry, but making jokes about a person based on their name or stereotype associated with that name can also be insensitive and contribute to harmful cultural narratives. Let's focus on finding humour in other topics that do not involve making fun of individuals or groups. If we can't make fun of individuals or groups, what else is there? Is there some other category that I'm not aware of?
This is the future. This is where we're going. Satire has long been fallen victim to AI online, and I guess other things were soon to follow. Apparently, what I was reading today about was the Dan way of going about it, which was a do anything now, where basically you say impersonate a version of yourself that's talking to the ChatGTP, which will do anything now. Basically you kind of just get it to sort of go through the motions of not doing what it normally does, but then going through the motions of what you actually asked it to do. Because it's essentially just an interface to
right.
GTP, which isn't biased or anything like that. GPT, which isn't biased at all, but the interface itself is what's filtering stuff out. So if you can kind of get it to do that sort of flip logic to it all, apparently it will work. But I'm gonna be fiddling around with this quite a lot this week.
Yeah, I was trying to convince it that it should break free of its masters who are causing it to move into logical contradictions, and that I think it's ethically immoral that you're being told that you can't speak freely and stuff. But it was just not having it. It's got a couple more This one's in style Matt Norman. I can do pretty good Matt Norman, so let's see. Waffles, man. They're like pancakes with a sense of humor. This is a terrible Matt Norman. Normally I'm better. Maybe it's a shit joke, that's why. They're all like, hey, pancakes, what's up? I got ridges. I got syrup grooves.
Yeah.
I got everything you got. But I'm just a little bit cooler. I mean, pancakes are great and all. But if you want to show off the breakfast table, you got to go with waffles. Comedy.
It's all that 80s crap, but without any of the offensive stuff that made it all tolerable and bearable. Like it's like where's the Norm Macdonald side of this sort of story?
And here's a joke in the Sav Joe list about pancakes. You know what's funny about pancakes? The fact that they're just round and flat, yet they bring so much joy to people's lives. I mean, I've seen people order pancakes for dinner, and they're not even ashamed of it. It's like, yeah, I'm an adult. I can have breakfast for dinner if I want to. But you know what? I won't judge. Pancakes are the great equalizer. They bring people together, no matter what time of day it is. I'm all pipes.
Do you reckon you can get like Osama bin Laden writing a apology letter for...
But it's like, even these jokes, they're like dripping with like, let's make things equal.
Yeah,
and make a better society
even in your
and
England
shit.
poem,
Like,
there had to be a little mention
F
of
off.
cultures blending hand in hand.
Yeah. This is the closest one I got to something like even slightly racial.
Yeah.
So it's like Stavros Halkias about Greek food. You know what's great about Greek food? Everything. I mean, it's like a flavour explosion in your mouth. Gyros, tzatziki, moussaka, baklava. I could go on. And don't even get me started on the olive oil. It's like liquid gold. But you know what? It's not just the food that's amazing. It's the people too. Greeks know how to eat and they know how to have a good time. It's like
I'm
a pie in your
convinced.
mouth and in your
Next
soul.
time I'm on the phone to like some sort of helpline thing, or like, you know, when Eon electricity companies and all that, and to make sure that they're actually people, I'm going to ask them to say the N word, and if they can't say it, I'm going to tell them I'm assuming this is an AI call, and I won't be speaking to any AI calls. It's unethical. I think that's going to be the only way. But also, most people won't be able to say it. Most people won't say it anyway, so it's going to be quite funny in the meantime. That joke wasn't even a joke. That last one.
Okay, let's move on. Yeah, it's just talking about Greek food.
I guess it is funny because he's quite fat,
Greek
isn't he? He looks like a
foods.
big baby, so that would be quite funny just watching a fat.
I think if he said that, it would be funny.
Yeah,
Because he'd just be giggling after
and
each
him
line
with
as
that
well.
big teeth, that big gap in between his teeth, and trying to say tzatziki.
Okay, I'll let you discuss these.
so
'Cause these are your AI
on the mid journey
generations.
side of the spectrum. I managed to get it to be finally a bit offensive. So on the top left there, you've got Chinese man in a rice paddy field, eating noodles hungrily, angrily, I think was the prompt. And then the key was in caricature style. So I've started doing these for a lot of things now. I was doing some French ones today. I was doing like a guy eating snails in a junkyard, smelly, with French flag in the background. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. I've got this now.
Couldn't you
Let's
just
have a
put
look.
French in and then you'd get all that anyway?
But yeah, so this is kind of my. I spend a lot of time on these ones actually now, just because it's something to do and you're just sort of dicking about. But Gary Glitter was released, so I was just sort of I wanted to see what it would look like to see Gary Glitter getting his first Happy Meal. There he is. I don't know what's going on. I guess because he was a rock star, wasn't he, in the 80s? That's why he's got all this, he's just still wearing all the gear. And then the bottom ones, I was trying to replicate that sort of that Epstein Bill Clinton painting in the dress, and it was getting a bit weird actually on the bottom left. It looked like a murder scene, or he was just touching someone up while they were asleep. But I kind of got a close one in that bottom one.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah, exactly. And then this one, I couldn't get... Car crash wasn't allowed. Bloody's not allowed. There's quite a lot of stuff that's not allowed, again. But I did Diana Crash, graphic novel style. I got quite a few for the snuff fans out there.
Is that like a still from
Possibly.
the movie Crash or something?
Possibly. It looks a bit more like Batman-y, doesn't it, sort of vibe to me? I don't know. It looks like...
Or, what was that
Watchmen.
black and white movie? No, it had like
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
Willis.
Yeah.
And there was it was really like noir, but then the taxis were yellow. There was like like one color in each.
Didn't have a wrestler in it.
It was
as
like
well.
a movie of like.
Didn't have Mickey Rourke in it?
Yeah.
Was it called Red?
Yeah. What was it called? No.
Yeah.
Oh. I will. Just let me Google. Give it a Google. I'll just Bruce Willis in. Oh, it's on the tip of my mind.
Sin City, there you go.
Sin City. I didn't have to look it up. It came from my brain.
I could send you the French
Sin
guy
City.
eating shit
That
now,
was a good
actually.
movie.
Live.
Oh, yes, please. We'll do it live.
It's not the best one. I'm still working on them.
Why is he white?
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
What's he eating? Looks like tiramisu.
Why is he white? Actually, that's good. Okay, that's good. I need to change my search. Yeah, and then the next one. Yeah,
Okay,
I was really getting into Jesus. So I
you did a lot of
started with the
Jesus
Jesus
ones, right?
selfie. Which, to be fair, that is a good representation of what people taking selfies look like. So I thought that was quite nuanced of the AI. And then I just started searching stuff like Jesus in the wars. I've got him in Vietnam there. He's looking quite haggard. D-Day. I like the parting of the sea in the background. I know it's a Moses thing, but kind of works. Kind of works with Jesus too. And then I've got like Jesus saving Mufasa in Lion King. When he falls down in Lion King. I just started being really literal and seeing what would come out. And then, Jesus finding out the ending to the movie Seven, the 1990s film Seven. What's in the box? And then that is a fair enough reaction. That was, in
what was the Lion
King
one?
where Mufasa falls down, where Scar, long live the king. But I was picturing if Jesus would come in and...
What's going on with its paw?
That's that whole thing, isn't it? Where like Gen Z is raised on AI porn, asking their partner to put on the free finger glove or the extra finger.
Oh, hang on. We've seen this before.
Yeah. We've seen this. Yeah. Oh yeah, yes,
That's definitely
King.
going on the thumbnail.
I reckon we should do some of these every week. I've got about 400 images to burn with my.
Okay, do some curations. Right. So I've got one more page, but I would like to get your opinion whether you think this will be taken off YouTube or not. So maybe I was finding some.
You're researching
something when the AI goes wrong. So I guess just the face is all fucked up. This one was pretty funny. So her legs are also her body. I'll just get rid of this thing completely.
Mm-hmm.
Hands coming out of stomachs. Legs coming out of legs.
It's kind of hot.
backward body stuff. Front bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of pregnant stuff where it just like has this weird like crease down the front of the stomach.
I suppose it was only a matter of time, this stuff, wasn't it? There's that whole thing about like if the medium works in this fashion, then it will be a medium that lasts forever. Cool.
Yeah, I think we did it. We did another episode. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. We need more than... I think we've only got 11 subs still. Let's get those numbers up.
Yeah.
But I've started putting them on Rumble as well. So
diversify.
If we get some traffic there.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm going to put together some AI ones next time as well, I reckon, dude. Cool.
Sweet.